Go on, because I'm doing a dramatic intro. Good evening. You may be wondering why I have brought you here. I'm in a bit of a sinister mood. We're doing a true crime kind of video on the personal channel. What? My world's colliding. It's funny because it literally is my worlds. It's all one world for me. Yeah, we're bringing the spooky vibes to the personal channel because I want to see how well I know true crime. How well does the true crime girl know her ish? So today we've compiled a bunch of online like true crime quizzes for detectives and sleuths, and I'm gonna see how I score in them. So let's get started. We are obviously on our trusty BuzzFeed. When I had this video idea in mind, I was like, they're all going to be BuzzFeed quizzes. I just know it. In fact, let's set the scene in here. Let's get a little bit of... Ooh, spooky lights. So, let's get started on our first quiz, shall we? This one is called Only a True Crime Expert Can Score More Than 7 out of 10 on this quiz. It'll be embarrassing if I can't, really. Because I'm gonna be honest, one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is because I actually don't have that much knowledge of, like, popular true crime. You know, the serial killers that everyone knows about, like Ted Bundy. I can already read the first question is about Ted Bundy, so I'm cacking my pants a little. That's gross, Ellie. But seriously, I know nothing about Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know, anyone that I've not covered on my own channel. So we shall see. So the first question is, how would Ted Bundy usually lure women to his car? What? Is this the same fucker that everyone was like saying was actually fit? Girls. Do you remember that like little flash of like, was it in the pandemic when people started to like fancy serial killers? My God. Open the schools! So how would he lure the women into his car? By offering them a lift, by feigning disability or injury, or by pretending to be a salesman? Maybe offering them a lift? No. I'm glad we get immediate feedback. Oh dear. He would feign disability or injury. He would often wear a fake cast or an arm sling in order to get women to help him carry things to his car, where he would then hit them over the head. This has made me realize that I know nothing about Ted Bundy. I know nothing about his MO. I remember when everyone was watching those, like, the Ted Bundy tapes or whatever. Maybe I need to get educated. Anyway, what was John Wayne Gacy known as? The Night Stalker, the Killer Clown, or the Highwayman? That's the Killer They're the Killer Clown. Yeah, his alter ego was Pogo the Clown because he often hosted parties where he would dress up as a clown. Weird. I love my video on John Wayne Gacy, I'll be honest. It's like the longest video I've ever done. 3 hours. What was my problem? Who is the main subject of season 1 of the podcast Serial? Well, this is actually a podcast question and not a true crime question, but I'll give it my best go. The only one of these 3 names that I recognise is Amanda Knox. Damn it! We wrong again. Wrong! Season 1 looks into the murder of Hae Min Lee and the investigation into her ex-boyfriend Adnan Syed, who was convicted of the crime but protests his innocence. Well, if you're interested, check out Serial Podcast, I guess. How was Jeffrey Dahmer caught? One of his intended victims escaped and notified the police. A neighbour complained about a foul smell coming from his apartment, or he tried to solicit sex from an undercover officer. Now, I'm going to rule out that bottom one, but I think, is it not a mixture of the top 2? I feel like his neighbour was complaining about the smell, and it also aligned with the time when he had a surviving victim who, like, managed to run out of the apartment. I'm going to go for that top one. Yeah! Yup! Because not gonna lie, I did watch like the first episode of the Evan Peters Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Dahmer Monster, a Jeffrey Dahmer story or something like that. And I feel like both of those things happened in the first episode, so. The Green River Killer used to do what with the bodies post-murder? Again, I don't know who the Green River Killer is. Oh my God, they need to take my channel off me. So what would he do with the bodies post-murder? Would he embalm them like mummies, have sex with them, or dismember them? Oh, like embalming is probably the least horrific there, but I'm gonna be real. That means it's probably not that one. I'm gonna say dismember them. Oh, he was a necrophile. Oh, girls. It's really taken a turn. Honestly, these are the kind of vibes that I didn't actually want to bring to the personal channel, but hey. Gary Ridgway, otherwise known as the Green River Killer, often revisited his dumping sites to have sex with the bodies until, quote, the flies came. That's even worse than I, like, imagined when I first got that answer wrong, and it was like, have sex with them. I'm like, okay, that's probably part of the whole killing thing for him. No. He would revisit the decomposing bodies. Bro, my God, moving on. Love you, Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate was brutally murdered by the Manson family, but she was the wife of which famous director? Now I know this because of a book that I read the other day, Roman Polanski. Because, oh, if you haven't already seen my, like, weekend readathon video where I read this book, Monsters, What Do We Do with Great Art by Bad People? First of all, you should watch that video because I did, like, quite a comprehensive review on this book, and it's quite interesting. But the first chapter, or the first part of the first chapter, is all about Roman Polanski and if his crimes can be excused or justified. I'm gonna just say it right now, I think no, absolutely fucking not. The things that that man did are vile and disgusting. But one of the things that this book discusses is his wife was brutally murdered, and surely that left him with a lot of trauma. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean he needs to rape a child. Yeah, there's no saving that man. Anyway. Oh my God, I forgot Sharon Tate was pregnant as well when she was murdered. That's so sad. So sad. What was the name of the murdered family depicted in Truman Capote's In Cold Blood? Right, so this is not the question I had in mind. Okay, I'm just gonna guess. Yes! Well, that's great. It was a 50-50. In Cold Blood, Ellie. In Cold Blood tells the true story of the 1959 murders of the Clutter family. While in prison, Richard Eugene Hickok, funny name, and Perry Edward Smith, love her in Little Mix. These two had learned that the Clutter family kept a safe of money in their house and thus devised a plan to steal the stash once they were released. However, when they broke into the home, there was no such safe, and so they killed each of the 4 members of the Clutter family who happened to be home that night in cold blood. Is that real? Is this a real? Is it real? Oh, holy shit, it's been banned in a couple of countries due to the description of the deaths of the Clutter family and the language within the book. Oh, whenever I hear that something's been banned, it makes me want to seek it out all the more. I fear I will be ordering this. Is it a real family? Yes, it's a non-fiction novel. Okay. Anyway, next. Who lived at the address 25 Cromwell Street? Well, I know this like the back of my hand. Oh, well, I thought I did. It is Fred and Rose West, but I fully thought it was someone else. I thought it was Dennis Nielsen, and I was the way I was gloating, like, girls, I know this one, don't even worry. If that had been like a pub quiz that didn't have a multi-choice answer, I would have just fucked the whole group. But yes, that is the infamous Fred and Rose West house. We saw a stand-up comedian the other day who was performing before Tommy, because Tommy's doing a bunch of comedy gigs now, and it was this older woman performing to a room of very young people, and she was like, my friend had twins the other day, and then like made a joke about calling them Fred and Rose West. Now, the room didn't laugh that much. I feel like the joke was lost on a lot of people. Me, in the back row, cackling the house down, boots. How many years did Stephen Avery serve in jail before he was exonerated? Now, I don't know who that is. 14? 18. Stephen Avery was incarcerated on a rape and attempted murder charge for 18 years before he was exonerated due to DNA testing. He was later convicted of the murder, of Teresa Halbach, for which he is currently serving a life sentence. But I thought he was exonerated. Wait, I'm gonna have to Google this further. Stephen Avery is an American convicted murderer who had previously been wrongfully convicted. Oh my God, but then he was correctly convicted of a different murder. What are the chuffing chances? That's crazy. Wait, let me get my facts straight. As of May 2006, Avery was the only one of the Innocent Project's 174 exonerees to have been charged with a violent crime after release. That's absolutely insane to me. Like, what do you mean you were wrongfully kept in a cell for 18 years, denied your freedom, everyone thought you were a horrible person, and you get it all wiped clean, everyone knows that you're innocent, you're free, and then you actually go and do the thing that you were wrongfully convicted for? Like, what's not clicking? Which serial killer is this a sketch of? That's the Zodiac Killer if I've ever seen him. Woo! Oh dear. Well, I got 6 out of 10 correct, and let's go reread the title of this here quiz. Only a true crime expert can get more than 7 out of 10. I guess I'm not an expert. So now I need to prove myself. Let's try this one. Only people that would make actually... wait. I read it wrong. Only people that would actually make amazing detectives can pass this quiz. Now, I believe in myself. I've got my own back. And I actually think I'd be a sick detective. Like, one thing about me is I'm quite delusional in the way of, like, if I wasn't a YouTuber, like, I could be full-on CSI, FBI, MRI scanner. Okay, first question. What does MO stand for? Modus operandi, method of operation, memorandum opinion, or main objective? It's modus operandi. And don't ask me to translate that or define that. I don't know. It means like method. It means method of operation, really. Maybe that is what it translates to. What's the scientific study of fingerprints called? Oh dear. Flexioneology, dermatography, dermatosonometry, or phalanxoscopy. There's a problem with the left phalange. Oh, it's dermatoglyphics. And that's what I said. What's a red herring? A trick investigators use to get confessions out of suspects. A type of fish. Well, is that not true as well? Two things can be true at once. A misleading clue or distraction to divert attention, or a literary device used in whodunit movies. A red herring. Is it a misleading clue? Or is it? Yes. Yeah! Oh, I'm so detective. What do detectives use to detect traces of blood? Luminol! Luminol! Don't even need to read the rest of the sentence. Luminol! Me and the girls in the office, me and the team that bring you the true crime videos, were having a little joke in the office the other day, and we were like, our kids are gonna be like following in our footsteps. Like, I'll have a 2-year-old and I'll be like, so do you know what luminol is? I won't. I'm gonna try and keep all the true crime of the world away from my tiny innocent child. I bet that's gonna be quite hard though, because I have a niece and a nephew who are very, very young, and my nephew's only just starting to clock that Auntie Ellie is a YouTuber and what that means, and he's really excited. Like, he goes into school and he's like, my Auntie Ellie's a YouTuber, and I think that's so cute. But then he asks my sister, his mom, if he can watch my videos, and she's like, no. So then, like, how do you explain to that kid what Auntie Ellie does on the internet? She's always talking about murder. She's let him watch a couple of the second channel videos, and that's what he thinks his Auntie Ellie does, just be funny and silly on the internet, which is true. Okay, in detective jargon, what does APB stand for? All Points Bulletin, Armed Police Backup, Agent's Personal Briefing, or Agency Priority Badge? All Points Bulletin? But again, don't ask me to translate that. I don't know what the fuck that means. It is just a true crime word. I need to blow my nose. A detective who worked... Oh my god, my ears are popped. Hello? Wait. This one will unpop. Guys. Right, well that made it worse. No. Hello? No, I feel like I've got noise cancelling on in my ears. Okay, well just know that my hearing is on 50% ever since I blew my nose, and I don't think that's right, but we move. And I'm having a slight headache in this corner of my head, and it's this ear that I can't hear out of the most. Guys, what the fuck is happening to me right now? Oh! 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 Mostly back, mostly. When I do that, I can feel something. Sorry, you guys didn't come here for medical problems. But neither did I. A detective who works outside of the official police system is called what? An independent agent, a freelance sleuth, lol me, private investigator, or a renegade investigator. That's kind of sexy, but it's a PI. What is the term for a fake identity used by a detective during an investigation? A nom de fond? What a queen. That's a serve. Incognito mode. Well, we're all familiar. An alias or a subterfuge nomination. An alias? Yep. I got 6 out of 7 on that one, so I actually think I would make an amazing detective. I'm actually really proud. Ooh, let's do, can you match the quotes to the serial killer? I don't think I'm gonna be the best at this one, but that's okay. Peekaboo, you are doomed. Ooh. Now, I really don't know that much about BTK. Is that bind, torture, kill? Is that like what his MO was? His modus operandi? Jeffrey Dahmer, I feel like that's just not him. I'm gonna be acting like I know a lot of these men in this video, but like, that just doesn't sound like it comes out of his mouth very easily. Albert Fish did kill a child, or maybe multiple children? I'm gonna go for that. Oh, and this one I don't get immediate feedback, so we shall see. I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer no more than the poet can help the inspiration to sing. Well, it's obviously not that Jack the Ripper. Wait, did Jack the Ripper write letters to the police? Because I was going to say, we don't know who that is, so how would we know his quotes? But maybe that's just me being silly. Maybe the Axeman of New Orleans. We shall see. Oh, Anna, why didn't you appear? Drop off fear fresh spring rain would roll down from your nakedness to scent to lofty fever that burns within. Well, this person can't even speak. Toolbox. I don't know the toolbox killer either. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens, for I am in close relationship with the angel of death. Ooh, maybe the Zodiac? Zodiac, stars, angel. Are you seeing the thought process? I made a prayer to God. I will stop killing if I don't get caught. I had to live with all that in me all those years. I couldn't tell you. I was like an alcoholic, dry for a time, then fell off the wagon. I miss you so much. Ooh. I made a prayer to God. I will stop killing if I don't get caught. I really don't think that's Ian Brady. Ian Brady wasn't much of a lover boy, was he? To my memory, I think it was Myra Hindley. So they're the Moors murderers. They were a couple that killed children together. It was a brutal case. And I covered it in like 2 or 3 parts years ago. But from what I can remember of that case, Myra Hindley was the one that was super, super in love with Ian Brady. And he was the one that was having these perversions and urges. And she was kind of enabling that for him. So I don't get the impression that he would like write her a letter and say like, I miss you so much. Watch me be wrong and be embarrassed. I don't know. Let's go for the Green River Killer. Just cause. But as a matter of fact, I killed so many more that I cannot recall the names. I think it would be safe to say that I killed at least 100. So that's not Myra Hindley because they only killed 8, I want to say. The chessboard killer killed a lot of people. I covered that case so long ago, and then it got like a copyright takedown because I'd used some sort of music in it. So barely anyone saw my video on the chessboard killer, but my mum always brings it up and she's like, that's one of my favorite cases you've ever covered. Basically, the guy was trying to kill as many people as there are squares on a chessboard or something to that, you know, so I'm gonna vote for him. You may have been free. You loved loving your lie. Fate had its own scheme. Crushed like a bug, you still die. I don't know either of these people very well. Israel Keys, I think we've covered him, haven't we? He was the murder kit guy. He would like set together murder kits with like a knife and rope and a mask and all that shit, and he would just like hide it in a bush and just wait until he felt like murdering someone with it. Mad. But I actually don't think it's him. I'm not getting those vibes. This is really going off like my intuition because I have not known any of these quotes yet. Let's go for Amelia. So I got 2 out of 7 correct. Answers here. Okay, peekaboo, you are doomed. It was Albert Fish. Now that makes my skin crawl because, like I said, he killed children. This question has no correct answers. What do you mean? No, I think that's a lie. I was born with the devil in me was... Well, yeah, you can say incorrect, but tell me what is correct. Ooh, I'm not a fan of this quiz. Next. Go on then, let's go back on BuzzFeed. Trusty BuzzFeed. Get at least 5 out of 6 of these true crime questions correct to reveal if you really know your stuff. Well, you've embarrassed me once. Don't do it again. Me blaming me getting all the answers wrong on BuzzFeed. What is phrenology? I don't know. The study of an individual's head shape / bumps used to determine whether a person was likely to commit crime. What? Because of their head shape? That's crazy. If so, that's crazy. Or is it the study of an individual's eyebrows to determine whether they are type A or type B? What? Type A or type B as in like people that like being organized versus spontaneous. Anyway, the study of an individual's fingerprints, which was used to determine whether a person was likely to commit crimes. Likely to commit crimes? How can you tell that from the fingerprints? Surely you would be taking the fingerprints after the crime had been committed. Or is it the study of an individual's blood type, which suggested their likelihood of committing crimes? I'm gonna be so freaking real with you. I wouldn't have voted any of these. Like, I'm not that confident on any of them, but I'm probably gonna say like the last one, the blood type. Oh, I really don't know. Imagine it's like their head shape and the bumps. Where's the head shape on the bumps? So that's phrenology, the study of an individual's head shape / bumps. This is now considered a pseudoscience. By me, yes, because I'm mad at it. But look into the history during one of your 3 a.m. rabbit holes. I won't, because I'm pissed off. What is the CSI effect? Do they mean like CSI as in the TV show rather than like actual crime scene investigation? I imagine. So is the CSI effect the sudden need for an individual to solve a crime? And don't we all get that? Is it when a case goes cold but is reopened later and solved? Is it when law enforcement decides to use good cop, bad cop techniques during interrogation? I'm gonna say no immediately, because that's good cop, bad cop. It's already got a name. It don't need another name. Or is the CSI effect expectations that jurors have for all the evidence to be scientific? Ooh, that one's quite interesting, because I guess, yeah, CSI did have a lot of like scientific, biological evidence in the cases that they would show on the TV show. But in real life, it ain't always like that. Okay, I'm gonna go for that. Correct! The expectation that jurors have for all evidence to be irrefutable and scientific. Thanks to TV shows like CSI and SVU, this phenomenon is plaguing the courtrooms. I am wondering if one day I'm gonna get called up for jury service or not. Because, I mean, everyone does, or everyone can, but I always think, like, do you think it's a bit of a conflict of interest, like, for my job? Not that I would ever do anything bad or naughty or illegal or that, like, crosses any lines, but they don't know that. I know that I would be sound in that situation. But for them, like, looking at potential jurors, imagine they saw Eleanor Neale and then they, like, Google her and she's got whole true crime channel. I'd be like, okay, maybe let's not get that girl on the jury. Or maybe they should get that girl on the jury, because maybe she knows her shit. Or maybe she doesn't. I mean, this video is very telling. Ponzi schemes are named after Charles Ponzi, a 1920s con artist from Italy. That's interesting. Immediately, that's interesting. If you're gonna learn anything from this video, make it that. I didn't know that it were named after a guy. Is that not like most things ever? He promised 50% returns for investors, but their funds were being used to purchase what? International reply coupons. No idea what that is. Penny stocks. Again, no idea. But this is the 1920s, so I bet a lot of things existed then that don't now. What was going on in the 1920s? Were women still wearing corsets in the 1920s? Women are still wearing corsets in the 2020s, girl. Okay, what were the funds being used to purchase? Pogs. What the fuck is that? It's giving Twitch. That's something I've heard my boyfriend say for sure. Or exotic plants. Wait, I'm gonna vote for that one because I want it to be that one. That's hilarious. Whatever international reply coupons are. Oh, it's all a bit convoluted. So he would buy coupons in other countries, then cash them out for stamps and take advantage of exchange rates. I don't know. To be fair, if your scam is that intricate and complex, like, maybe I'll just let you do it because smarter than me. Well, no, because that's how I've gotten myself into a lot of shit business deals, is because I'm like, well, you're smarter than me. Thank God I have a manager that is smarter than me now. She does all that. Which Prohibition-era gangster was nicknamed Scarface? Bugsy Siegel, Al Capone, Albert Anastasia, or Meyer Lansky? Al Capone's actually the only one I know, so... Oh, and he came through for me. During the Prohibition era in Chicago, Capone was a crime boss. He was sent to prison on charges of tax evasion, and then he died of a stroke in 1947. Why is he a bit of a sort? Do you remember that, like, little flash when people started to, like, fancy serial killers? My God. Open the schools! Wait, did he murder? I have to double check. Yes, Ellie, you have found him in a true crime quiz. This is not going to be a good man. He died the day after my birthday. Almost like 50 years before. Did you kill anyone? Or were you just a crime boss? Oh my God, just when I was like, oh my God, all these girls saying that Ted Bundy's fit. Have you seen this? What? Have you seen who I'm thirsting over right now? Oh, there is a part in his Wikipedia called St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Right. So I'm actually just gonna move on very quickly, actually. Who was the first and longest serving director of the FBI? Well, not a fucking clue, bruv. Clarence M. Kelly, Stanley Finch, J. Edgar Hoover, or William J. Flynn? They could just all be like my dad's friends. I don't know. Hoover. Oh, good for me. Good for me. Colleen Hoover's husband. I'm joking. It's not. Wait. No. Oh my God. The FBI was originally called the Bureau of Investigations. I've heard of that before, but I never knew that that was the FBI when it was a baby. It was renamed in 1935. J. Edgar Hoover was the longest standing director and a controversial figure, to say the least. Why? What's the T? Why was J. Edgar Hoover controversial? It'll be like, he is Colin Hoover's husband. Wait, did I just call her Colin? Ooh, abuse of power. He established a national blacklist, the FBI Index, and used it to harass political dissidents. He used illegal surveillance, wiretapping, and burglaries to collect information on citizens and officials. He intimidated and threatened high-ranking political figures. I'm gonna be real though, that's actually doing it for me. Violation of the law. Hoover routinely violated the FBI's own policies and the law the FBI was supposed to enforce. That's not good. That's really bad, but it's kind of hilarious. Anyway, yeah. Everyone's problematic, aren't they? Can we not like anyone anymore? Not even the fucking director of the FBI? And who is widely considered to be the first American serial killer? Ooh. Ted Bundy, Herman Webster Mudgett, H.H. Holmes, or Eileen Wuornos? Well, first of all, is Herman Webster Mudgett not H.H. Holmes? Let me Google that real quick because I think I found a loophole. Yes, that is literally H.H. Holmes's full name, Herman Webster Mudgett. Budgmit. Well, it's him. It is him. Oh! Both the answers were right. Okay. That was sneaky cheeky of you, BuzzFeed, but I'll take it. Yeah, I knew that one. I knew that one because fully that is like one of my favorite true crime cases. I hate using that terminology, but a lot of people use it with me. So they're like, oh my God, my favorite case. And I'm like, girl, let's think about our semantics. Oh my God, that case was so interesting is what we should be saying. But when it comes to like serial killer cases and everyone's like, what is the serial killer case that like sits with you and that you think about regularly? For me, it's this one, and it always will be. And whenever anyone's asked me for years, I've always been like, H.H. Holmes, he built the fucking murder castle. This guy built a whole castle where all of the rooms just had different methods of murder. There would be trap doors in the floor. There would be rooms with no doors or windows or ways to get out once you're in there. There were chutes on every floor, like garbage chutes, but obviously he wouldn't really use them for garbage. He would use them for dead bodies. Whenever someone would die in one of his castle rooms, he would just shoot them down into the basement, and then he would go down there later and like dissect them and shit. And I think the reason that this one is the most interesting to me is because he is considered to be the first American serial killer, especially someone to do it like on that level with that much prior like thought and planning and fucking architecture for it all. Yeah, he was building this crazy like purpose-built murder castle, and he had to keep like firing the contractors and the builders that were working on it because they'd get a bit suspicious. They'd be like, hey, Herman Webster Mudgett, this room doesn't have any doors or windows. Do you want us to put some on? And he'd be like, no. Leave it. But yeah, then after a while, he would have to fire them and get new people in. But I finished the quiz and I got 4 out of 6. Ugh. You didn't get the worst score possible, but there's definitely more to learn about the history of true crime. Do you know who you're speaking to right now? Oh, this video is really actually embarrassing me though, isn't it? Should we do one more? Let's do one more. Okay, so this quiz is all about famous serial killers. Not my strong suit. Which serial killer of boys and young men performed as Pogo the Clown? We know this is JWG. Which serial killer and doctor murdered at least... Oh my God, we're being fucking timed. Harold Shipman. I didn't realize there was a timer in the top. Okay. Right, let me just calm down then. So what, we've got like 10 seconds to answer? My God. But yeah, Harold Shipman was a crazy fucker. Like the original killer doctor, serial killer doctor. Again, we've of course done a full video on that. Yeah, injecting them with overdoses of painkillers. That's just one of the craziest murder methods to me. Is like, I feel like for serial killers especially, they must get joy in the act of taking another person's life. And so through their lens, you can imagine how a very brutal and like energetic death would satisfy that. And I just think injecting someone quietly and calmly with an overdose when they don't know that they're about to die is just a very, I don't know, it's very calm for a serial killer, I think. But maybe that's what he liked about it, was like, you don't know that I'm killing you right now, as he's like injecting it in. Oh my god. Anyways, next question, and be aware that we're being timed and I'm gonna be frazzled. Which serial killer was known as the Dusseldorf vampire because he drank the blood of at least one of his victims? Shit. That guy's called Wolfgang. I don't know. I just like the name Wolfgang. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, damn, bring Wolfgang back. Maybe that's what me and Jack will name our child. Wolfgang Neale Manifold. Coming soon. Coming 2026. Joking. It was Peter Curtin. Peter Curtin claimed to have killed 2 schoolmates before he was 10 years old. I need to look up the Dusseldorf vampire. That's crazy. Who was the first known American serial killer? Well, I'm actually just gonna let that timer go down. I'm very proud of myself. Yup! Also known as Herman Mudgett, H.H. Holmes killed several women after becoming engaged to them and taking control of their life savings. He did that, yes. He did that also. Which Soviet serial killer murdered at least 50 children and women, often butchering them while they were still alive? Oh, that's the only one I recognize. Ah! Well, Andrei Chikatilo preyed on young migrants whose absence would not be immediately noticed. Which serial killer of 100 boys was sentenced to be strangled with the same chain he had used to kill his victims, his body to be dismembered into 100 pieces? Oh my god, I don't know. It was Javed Iqbal. Wow, that seriously just like blagged my head. Let's read that again. Serial killer of 100 boys. Wait, have I covered this case? I actually think I might have covered this case, because I think he is like known as the killer of 100 boys. Okay, yeah, so you search killer of 100 boys on YouTube and yep, I am the first one to come up 3 years ago. And I don't remember that much about it. He was sentenced to be strangled with the same chain that he had been used to kill his victims. That is a part that I missed. His body to be dismembered into 100 pieces and dissolved in acid. And they actually went through with that. Oh my god, Javed Iqbal killed himself before the sentence by a court in Pakistan could be carried out. How did he do that? Whenever I get like morbidly curious about, I mean, particularly like suicides and like prison suicides, I'm always like, how? In October 2001, Iqbal and an accomplice, Sajid Ahmed, were found dead in their respective cells in jail. The pair were officially ruled to have hanged themselves with their own bed sheets. Autopsies revealed that they had been beaten prior to death. Oh, this is something that's coming back to me now. Armchair detectives think that the police in this case and like the prison guards were very corrupt and they beat him to death and then claimed that he killed himself, I believe. But hey, who knows? Not me. Which serial killer posed as a hitchhiking prostitute to kill 7 male motorists? Oh, that's Eileen. That's my girl Eileen. She is not my girl. Wait, let me denounce. She is not my girl. Someone else, come get your girl. Because Eileen Wuornos is not mine. Sorry, I didn't mean it in like a kiki kind of way. I was like, oh, like my girl. Eileen Wuornos initially claimed that she had killed to defend herself against sexual assault. She later confessed otherwise. My face is getting all pinky ready. I'm warm. It's warm in this room. This is one of the reasons that I've started wearing makeup on my main channel again, because I went through a phase like a year or 2 ago where I didn't wear makeup in videos and that was so freeing, but my cheeks just changed colour like a lava lamp. Lava lamps don't change colour. I'm like a temperature colour changing nail varnish or something. My mum wears those. But you have to be really careful about like the colourway that you get, because she once got one that was nude and it went brown when it was cold. And naturally when you have long nails, they're warm up until it gets above the nail bed, and then the bit of nail that hangs over is cold. So she always just looked like she had nude nails that had just like dirt in the top. It had like a brown line on the top. It was like reverse French tip. Ugh. Sorry, mummy. They looked lovely though. They looked amazing. By which name were the serial killers Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono? No, I don't know. I don't know and I'm panicking. It's the Hillside Strangler. Wait, by which name were the serial killers Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono known before their identities were discovered by police in 1978? The Hillside Strangler. Oh, so did they think it was just one person? The 2 of them raped, tortured, and killed 10 young women in Los Angeles in the 1970s. In 2 years, 77 and 78. Wow. That's crazy. So the police must have thought it was one guy. Oh. and it was really two mates. Have I mentioned this before in a video that I find it so mad when serial killer duos find each other? Like Myra Hindley and Ian Brady, like these two fuckers. Like, who is the first person to bring that up? Like, I always wonder how it gets brought up in conversation for the first time. Like, imagine you and your mate there and you're like, hey, I've had this idea. If you're not busy later, then maybe we could like kidnap and kill someone. What? I cannot imagine a scenario in which that just like falls into the conversation and is well picked up by the other person as well. Anyways, which serial killer of 11 women in 1962 was eventually identified as Albert DeSalvo? Well, the Boston Strangler? Ooh! Maybe I just knew it in my bones. DNA evidence obtained from Albert DeSalvo's remains in 2013 established that he had raped and killed Mary Sullivan, the last victim of the Boston Strangler. Wow. Wait, so were they able to connect him to all the other previous killings? Oh, fine, I'll do my research. Oh, not the movie. Not the movie. Oh my god. 6 years after he was transferred prisons, he was found stabbed to death in the prison infirmary, and his killer or killers were never identified. Whoa. I find it mad when like karma hits them in the exact like identical way that they had been a shithead on this earth, you know? Like, to be murdered and then your killer get away with it is, I mean, I don't want to say it's poetic justice, but... Which serial killer's crimes inspired Alfred Hitchcock's 1927 film, The Lodger? Well, Peter Curtin. Jack the Ripper. Sorry, it's just because I just learnt that guy's name for the first time tonight. Peter Curtin. And I really like saying it. Peter Curtin. Okay, so it's actually based on Jack the Ripper, the character falsely accused of being the Avenger. Ooh, Superman, Spider-Man. Wait. One thing about me is I'm gonna really embarrass myself with my lack of general knowledge. Which serial killer was the inspiration for the character Leatherface? Ow! Ed Gein. Let's just say that Ed Gein was a taxidermist. Let's say more, actually. He made, like, lamps and gloves out of human skin. Ooh. What else did he make out of human skin? Alexa, what pieces of furniture did Ed Gein make out of human skin? Volume up 4. Which serial killer of boys and young men tried to turn his victims into zombies? Yep, Jeffrey Dahmer. By drilling holes in their heads while they were still alive and injecting hydrochloric acid or boiling water into their brains. Which is crazy. Did it actually, like, make them move and shit? Because I imagine that it would have, like, in, like, a spasming kind of way. Weird fucking, like, loser. Just a loser, isn't he, Jeffrey Dahmer? Which serial killer was the inspiration for the murderous character Scorpio in the film Dirty Harry? Zodiac. It makes sense. He's called Scorpio. That's a zodiac sign. I see the signs. Like Scorpio, the Zodiac killer terrorized the San Francisco Bay Area and taunted police with letters and phone calls. And I would do the same. Not terrorizing the San Francisco Bay Area, but just taunting the police. Just a bit of fun. Which serial killer's intelligence, charm, and good looks were emphasized in the media coverage of his murder trial? Ted Bundy? Yeah. And still to this day, why do the TikTok girlies not have brain cells? Ted Bundy married and fathered a child by one of the groupies who attended his trial. Yo, how the fuck did that work? But he got the electric chair on my birthday, January 24th. But this was also 10 years before I was born. But what is it with serial killers having like weird shit happening around my birthday? Knock it off. Ooh, Cody Co reference in 2025. Awkward. In fact, let's make it a Noel reference. Knock it off. Allegedly having sex with an underage Tana Mojo. Knock it off. I legally have to say alleged, but seriously, if Tana was here, then she could back me up, you know? Come on, Tana. And in she comes. Could you imagine? What's she doing in Brighton? Wait, yeah, back to how Ted Bundy could have fathered a child if he was on the electric chair. That was really funny. I just hovered my mouse over this for a bit and it was like, oh, you want to know more about Utah? Well, sure, whatever. Oh my god. So her name is Rose Bundy, was conceived after an alleged prison visit. Ted Bundy and Carol Ann Boone, which I'm assuming is baby mama, met while they were working at the Washington State Department of Emergency Services. Oh my god, so they were already a thing before he started murdering and then she like stuck by him and tried to help him through his trials. The Lovebirds had a courthouse wedding while Bundy was on trial for the murder of Kimberly Leach. Could you imagine marrying a man knowing that he had killed another woman? A Florida law dictates that any marriage that takes place in front of a judge is legal. So Bundy and Boone held an impromptu ceremony in front of the jurors and the judge at his murder trial, and then the next day, he was sentenced to death by electrocution. That's wild. Though physical contact between inmates and civilians was forbidden, Boone became pregnant more than a year later. She later said that the guards didn't necessarily enforce the rules, allowing her and Bundy to consummate their marriage behind bars. Anyway, we only have one question left, so let's freaking go. Make it a good one. Which serial killer styled himself Son of Sam? That was David Berkowitz. Yeah, I kind of know my true crime stuff. Yeah. The son in question was a dog, the companion of David Berkowitz's neighbor, Sam Carr. I know a guy called Sam Carr. That was weird. The son of Sam. The son in question was a dog. Son of Sam? No, you've confused me more than you've explained. Why was Berkowitz? Yeah, called someone. Look how I'm trying to spell it. Why were you called that? Oh, he confessed to all of his 8 shootings, holy schmoly, and initially claimed to have been obeying the orders of a demon manifested in the form of a black dog belonging to his neighbor, Sam. Okay, so the black dog that his neighbor has is the son of Sam. He's not the son of Sam. But he calls himself the son of Sam. But apparently the dog is the son of Sam, and he's a demon. And he told him to kill everyone. Me if I was a dog. Just like causing havoc, like trying to make people do shit. If I was a dog that could talk, I mean, I wouldn't be making people commit crimes and murder, but I would definitely be meddling. I don't know. What would you do if you were a talking dog? Okay, well, I fear I have embarrassed myself on the internet, so now it's probably time to go. I can always do a part 2 to this if you want me to go off and do my revising, and then I can come back and find some different quizzes. Or we could do some different kind of quizzes. They don't have to be murdery. Or we can do some murdery stuff. I don't know, like whatever you want to do, girl. Anyways, I love you so much, and I will see you in my next upload. Bye! Oh, millennial heart. Sorry. Bye, I love you.